Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Tutelage, a guide to learner. Here, this is Sriparna. I hope all of you are doing good. In my last session on education, we had already discussed one of the most interesting chapter according to the UGC Net current syllabus, that is research aptitude. And you all know that research aptitude is equal important in UGC Net exam as well as PhD and MPhil enrollment. It helps to update your subject research also, and it is one of the most important chapter who wants to go with the research work, obviously. So I think our next session on education will be the last session of this important chapter, that is research aptitude. So uh, do follow these sessions. I hope it will be a really helpful session to everyone. But today we are going to discuss some important MCQs on this chapter. So we have already discussed some MCQs on teaching aptitude. So all previous sessions links are mentioned in my first comment and my description box. So if you have missed my previous session, so please go and check it once. I hope it will be very useful to everyone. So let's begin the session. So here we can see our first question, that is objectives of research are formulated after. So research objectives are formulated after. So here we can see four options of this question. So the first option, that is selection of topic. Second option is defining research problem. Third option is review of literature. And fourth one is formulation of hypothesis. So objectives of research are formulated after the review of literature. So C is the correct answer and this is a wrong answer. Okay. So the correct option of this question, that is review of literature, and which is mentioned in option number C. Now going to the second question, the variable marital status, okay, has responses married, divorce, widow, or never married. Okay, so there are three responses for married, divorce, and widow or never married. So what kind of variable is it? So now move on to the next slide. Here we can see our first option, that is active variable, and now going to the next option, that is dependent variable, independent variable, and categorical variable. So we can say the marital status indicates three category. So first one is married, second one is divorce, and the third one, that is never married or widow. So this indicates the categorical, basically this is known as a categorical variable. So what kind of variable is this? This is a categorical variable. So option number D is the correct answer. I think this is clear. So now move on to the next question. Which of the following is not needed? Which is most important? Which of the following is not needed in experimental research? So we have already discussed what do you mean, what do you mean by experimental research, and also we all know that manipulations, observations, control, all are very very important in the experimental research. But which is not needed in this type of research? So learner, option number D, reference collection is the correct answer of this particular question. But this is a big mistake of mine. Here I do not mention the answer line. So now move on to the next question. The mobile phone penetration in India has increased manifold from 1988 to 2018. So what kind of study should be conducted to prove this? There are four options. So the exposed factor research, experimental research, longitudinal research, and cross-sectional research. And we have already discussed what is meant by exposed factor, experimental, longitudinal, cross-sectional. And if you have missed my previous session, so please go and check it once. I hope all will be very clear to everyone. Okay, So here we can see the data on mobile phone penetration in India from 1908 to 2018. So it indicates what kind of study should be conducted to prove this. So obviously this indicates a longitudinal research. So it is basically longitudinal research or longitudinal study should be conducted to prove this. Okay, so because here it indicates a long time period, so 1998 to 2018. So option number C is the correct answer, longitudinal research. Now going to the next question, how many responses can a dictomus variable ever? We have already discussed in my previous sessions what is independent variable, what is dependent variable, and extraneous variable, but now we will discuss what is meant by a dictomus variable. So dictomus variable indicates only the two variable only. Dicto means it indicates only two. Here we can see there are four options, 1 2 3, and last option that is more than two, but dictomus variable indicates only two variable. Okay, so relationship of two variable, which is which is basically known as the dictomus variable. So dictomus variable have two variables. So option number B is the correct answer. So now going to the next question. Next question is, male and female employees in India earn equal salary. Okay, so what kind of hypothesis is this? We have already told what is the meaning of hypothesis and hypothesis. So hypothesis basically is a tentative statement and it indicates the relationship between two variables. So male and female, there are two variables. So both employees earn equal salary. There is no different from male's employees salary and female employees salary. So this is basically a null hypothesis, and we have four options: directional, declarative, null, and alternative hypothesis. And we all know that null hypothesis basically indicates there is no relationship between two variables. Okay, so both are equal. So here we can see male and female employees in India earn equal salary. So that means it indicates the null hypothesis. So what kind of hypothesis is this? This is null hypothesis. So option number C is the correct answer. So now move on to the next question, and the next question is, which of the following is not a type of experimental research? So we have already told what do you mean by experimental research, but experimental research is of three types. Okay, so first one is pre-experimental research, second one is true experimental research, and third one is quasi-experimental research. But post-experimental research, so option number D is not the type of the experimental research. So we can say option number D, that is post-experimental research, is the correct answer of this particular question. So now move on to the next question. Research should be generalizable means that data should be authentic. Option number B is results can be applied to real life. Option number C is conclusions drawn from sample are applicable to the larger population as well. And now going to the last option, that is all of the above. So obviously research can be the research should be generalizable. It means it indicates conclusions drawn from sample size and which is applicable to the larger population as well. So that's why option number C is the correct answer, and here we can say option number C is the correct answer for this particular question. So I think this is clear. So, in my previous session, we have already told format of thesis and what is meant by thesis, etc., etc. But and we have already mentioned the bibliography, and bibliography is the last section, last not second last section of the format of thesis or dissertation. So here we will give us some short so in my previous session we have already told the format of thesis, and you all know that second last section of format of thesis or dissertation is the bibliography. Okay. Actually, we didn't mention in my previous session what do you mean by a bibliography and all. So here we will discuss only the what do you meaning what do you mean by a bibliography. Okay, so bibliography indicates all sources which have been consulted are mentioned. Okay, so these may not be used in the research study, but which have been consulted are mentioned. So those are included in the bibliography section. Okay, and bibliography is one of the most important section of the thesis writing or dissertation writing. Clear? So and bibliography have some different formats, but so this is our famous or popular bibliography format, that is American Psychological Association style or APA style. So what is the American Psychological Association or APA style? So at first you have to mention author's last name, that means title, then put a comma, then mention first name of the author, that means name of the author, then put a full stop, and then starting a bracket. So in bracket we are in bracket you can put the year of publication. Okay, so publication of the book obviously, and then closing the and after closing the bracket you can put a full stop, and then uh, you have to mention the book title or book name, then put a full stop, and after full stop you can add the publication place colon and the publisher name, and after the name of the publisher you can put a full stop, and this is totally American Psychological Association or APA style. Okay, so if we are using an example to understand the American Psychological Association style, I think it will more helpful to understand than earlier. So that's why we have to mention an example of the uh, American Psychological Association or APA style. So going to the that section. So here we can see the example of the American Psychological Association for one author only. Okay, so first one is Michelle. Michelle is the author's last name, and W is the name. In bracket mentioning, we have to mention the year of publication of the book, and after and then you can put a full stop, and after that you have to mention the book title, that is toward a cognitive social learning reconceptualization of personality, And psychological review 18 to 52 to 83, this is the publication place, but publication place, this is not a publication place, this is basically a publisher. Okay, so this is a basic example of the American Psychological Association style or APA style. I think this is clear. W. Michel, so that is the full name of the author. So Michel is the last name. So after Michel, comma W in bracket 1973, and after after closing the bracket, you can put a full stop, and then the book's name and the publisher and the publication place, etc. Okay, so I think this is clear. And this is basically a very 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 interesting style, and bibliography is one of the most important section of this portion. Okay, so of this portion of this chapter, obviously, because research aptitude is related to the, obviously research aptitude chapter is related to the thesis, research paper, dissertation, etc. So that's why it is one of the most important thing. So, learner, we are done for the today's session. I hope this session will be a very, very useful to you. If you like my session, so do not forget like, share, comment, and please do some support and subscribe my channel for getting more useful sessions. I will come again with a new exciting session. Till then, stay tuned. Please press the bell button for getting notifications as soon as possible from my side. Happy learning. Thank you. Keep commenting.